What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. We're back at it in the A320. I got all my mods re-downloaded and reinstalled and everything taken care of, and a new thing in addition to that, and we are going to be making a flight today from Fort Worth to Atlanta. So we're going to be flying between two incredibly busy airports, or definitely into the world's busiest airport in Atlanta. And probably DFW is probably really high up there. I don't know exactly where it is in the numbers, but I know it's way up there. And so this should make a really interesting, fun flight. So anyway, let's go ahead and get rolling real quick, and we'll get to talking about everything once we get airborne and established. So we are sitting on the runway. We are on 35 lift, I think is what we're departing on. We're going to go ahead and open the throttle, get things rolling, and then go all the way up. And I see someone sitting on one of the other runways over there. It's either center or right. I'm not sure which one. Glad to be back in the A320 though. We're doing a Delta flight 844. Like I said, between DFW and Atlanta. And there we go. Go ahead and rotate. And we are up. Positive rate. We got lightning in the area, and there is we're using, of course, real weather, and there's no lightning in the area, so I don't know what's up with that. Really just don't know, but that's all right. All right, let's get our flaps up, and let's do autopilot, and let's do altitude, and then let's pull our speed back. There we are. We're in climb thrust. And we should be climbing out at 230 knots. And it is going to be taking care of our navigation for us, so... Okay. We'll take the handoff, but we're not going to actually do it. And of course, she lowered the nose and went over the speed for us, but... we'll see what she does. We overspeed a little bit below 10,000 feet, but just kind of curious to see what the plane will do now. This is the first time I've flown it since the patch, and getting the A320 mod reinstalled and all that taken care of. Going to be entering a cloud layer here really quick, so that's cool. Take a look at the airplane on the outside. There we go. Beautiful DFW in the background. You see a flash of lightning and you hear it. I don't know what that's about because there's no storms in DFW right now at the moment, but I don't know. One of those MSFS2020 quirks that you get. So there we are. Very nice. Let's hop back, and man, it is popping like crazy too. Lots of lightning. All right, we're climbing through 7,000 feet. Let's go ahead and we'll increase it up to 24,000. We'll do that. For now, we'll be cruising at 35,000 feet. This is based on a real-life flight plan. I set it up in SimBrief and pulled it into the sim, and here we are. So, got a lot of flights planned. Since the A320 is back working now, since it looks like it's okay. At least doable so far. I'm going to be doing a flight. Had a suggestion to fly to Tijuana, so that is definitely a good one I want to do. Might do that from Guadalajara, and then another suggestion into O'Hare, which is one that I'm very much looking forward to, because that was some of the first flying experiences that I had in Satco way back in the day. I know if you've heard me talk about it, so that one's kind of sentimental to me. Then the reason that I picked DFW to Atlanta, the other day I was watching a video on CaptainCIProAviation's YouTube page. It's a really good one. I suggest going to it. I'll put a link in the description for it. Does a lot of flying overseas, some great flights, does some stuff stateside too, but just some really good flying, and always never ceases to amaze me on like how familiar and thorough he is with the systems in the aircraft. So anyway, in one of the videos I had watched, he posted a comment and had asked people, what was your favorite route to fly? And I thought about that one, and knee-jerk reaction, I was like, man, that's a really hard one to nail down, because there's a lot of great flights. You know, I mean, you've got some visually stunning flights. You know, the approaches into different airports and mountains, the scenery and all that stuff. But if I had to make a choice, the first one that popped in my mind was DFW to Atlanta, or Atlanta to DFW, just that corridor. And I picked that one because it was more of a sentimental value to me. It was one I flew a lot back in my early flight simulation days in 95 and 98. One I flew a lot as a kid and later on as an adult too. And so I was very familiar with it, but also I picked it because of the aircraft that you could find flying it back in the day. I'm not sure now, as you know, things have changed a lot in the airline industry. Your types of aircraft seem to have culled back immensely compared to what it was back in the day. Back in the 98, in the FS98 days, based on real life, you could see anything from MD-88s, 727s, L1011s, which is one of my favorites. Absolutely love the L1011. 737s. What else? Gosh, you could find anything flying that route, and that was just on the Delta side. Now I think the American side, I think they flew the MD series, like the whatever their version was, MD-82 or whatever. I think that's mostly what they used. But Delta, they had L1011s, 727s, you know, MD-88s, you name it, they had it. Go ahead and take our altitude on up. We'll go and go to cruise 350. Okay, so anyway, and we'll take our speed up. We need to definitely get that up. So that was just on the Delta side. Then on top of that, if you added in AirTran, you could get DC-9s. You know, it was crazy the variation in the amount of aircraft you could find flying that service corridor. And I flew them all. You know, in FS98, I flew AirTran flights with the Citrus call sign, the DC-9s. Absolutely loved it. Flew the 727, flew the L1011 a lot. Flew all those planes, and it was one of my really regular routes that I flew it all the time. It was one of my go-to routes. I had it memorized. I knew the fixes and the nav aids and the stars and the SIDs and everything. I knew it like the back of my hand. Of course, it's changed a lot now. It's not hardly anything like what it was when I used to fly it. But that was my pick. That just for nostalgia, you know, and sentimental reasons. And it is a great route. You get to fly between two really busy airports, you know, and it's not too terribly long. It's a fairly quick flight, you know, about 2 hours, give or take, I think. You know, so that was a good one to pick, and at least for me, that's one of my favorites. If you guys have a favorite, let me know. Always love hearing what you guys have to say and all that stuff. So anyway, back to the plane. I got the A320 mod in. I didn't go through the details to see if anything has been added to it. I just downloaded it and put it in real quick because I knew it had been fixed and it was working. I did get something else though. I got the SkyVector map here. And this little plug-in, this add-on, will have it where you can view SkyVector maps within the sim. As you can see, the only downside to it, and I may have done this wrong, I'm not sure, I gotta go back and look at it because I just put this in really fast, was that you don't see your plane's location within the map. So I don't know if that's something on my part or if it just doesn't have that feature to it yet. If it did, that would be absolutely amazing. I would love that. But this is it. It's really cool if it showed your plane's location. I would be so incredibly happy with this add-on. You have no idea. And just get rid of that built-in VFR map that, you know, gives you horrible frame rates and all that stuff. So there we are with that. I have not got the CJ4 mod downloaded yet for the Citation. We'll probably just stick with the A320 4-bit, get a few flights in with it, and then maybe move on to something else. All right, let's go back to standard altitude. Forgot to do that. All right, we're through 27,000 feet. We're cruising at 35,000 feet. We're on the Force, or yeah, the Force 2 departure. That's what it's called? I think it is. We'll look real quick. All right, here we go. It is, this is an interesting one. I'm really not sure how you pronounce it. You can see it a couple different ways. I can see it as Fork 2, or I could see it as Forsic 2. So, I don't know. I'd give anything if the FAA had a website where you could type in these nav aids, these fixes and things like that, and they would tell you exactly how it's pronounced or whatever. I know it would be quite the undertaking. You know, I was looking at the forum, I think it was on airliners.net the other day, and they were talking about fixed names and nav points and stuff like that, and how do you pronounce them. And a few of the guys that listen into ATC regularly, they're like, you know, hard to say, because they've heard one controller on one shift call a fix one way, and then the controller on the next shift would call it something else, a different pronunciation. So, you know, it's I guess it's just up to you, whatever you want to, you know, whatever you want to call the fix. So anyway, maybe Fork 2 or Forsic 2 departure. It's pretty cut and dry. Nothing, yeah, nothing really special about it. The altitude limits are Meckel at or above 4,000, board at or above 6,000, and Jaime at or above 7,000. So you just pretty much just blast off out of the airport and get on, you know, get on about your business. Lots of cloud cover over this area. I'm just not seeing it in Sky Vector. I really don't know what's up with the weather. I've seen some general weirdness with the weather. Sometimes it seems like it's spot on, and other times it's like, where is this coming from? Because I don't have a clue. So I think we're kind of in one of those areas. I've got the weather radar pulled up, and this is Dallas-Fort Worth. It is showing VFR for the airport itself. We'll pull the layers back down there. Yeah, everything over here is VFR. You don't really start getting into yeah, you don't really get anything until you start getting on the East Coast there, up towards Washington DC and up that way. So I do not know what is up with our weather. I really just don't. I wish our weather was to a point where we could count on it, where, like, you know, it is going to be let's go back to clear and then let's go back to live and see what that does. Yeah, we're back at this now. The you know, they don't have satellite in Sky Vector, so it could just be cloud cover. In fact, let me pull up some weather. We'll look at the satellite image and see what it says right now. There, yeah, we're looking at cloud cover. I don't know. It's showing cloud cover in the area, but let's see. Let's do radar in clouds. Yeah, I don't know. I think what it's showing in satellite is like high altitude stuff. I don't think it's this. I could be wrong, but I don't think this is right. It doesn't look right at all. All right, so we're leveling out at 35,000 feet. Let's hop into airplane. We'll look at our waypoints here real quick. We'll pull this out. Here are coming on Fork or Forsic, however you want to pronounce it. Let me know in the comments. Let me know what you guys think. How would you prefer to pronounce that? Fork or Forsic? So let's go to plan and we'll go through some of our waypoints here. Go to flight plan. Yeah, there's Fork, El Dorado, Meridian, and then Duck. And then we do the Gandalf to arrival into Atlanta with the Orc transition. So we've got Orc. We've got Mordor, Wraith, Nazgul, and they messed up our transition. Our transition is not right for that. It should be Smog. Yeah, I don't know what's up with that. Let's see. Let's try something here. Let's see if we can fix this. Let's go to flight plan. Atlanta, arrival. What did we say? We're landing on 9 right. We'll do 9. You know, actually, yeah, we'll do ILS 9 right. And then we'll do Orc. Do that. See what this looks like. Maybe, hopefully this will fix it. Yes, it did. We're fixed now. Good job. Good deal. Like that. Okay, so Smog, and then we take our ILS approach straight into Atlanta, landing to the east. World's busiest airport. Believe it or not, Atlanta's been the world's busiest airport since 1998. So for quite a while, it's been the busiest airport, and that is no doubt due to Delta. If Delta wasn't there, I really feel like that title would be long gone for Atlanta for sure. And you've noticed over the years, if you guys are familiar with aviation or into it, or aviation buffs or whatever, you can tell how the landscape of the aviation, airline industry has changed. Airports. Look at St. Louis. Used to be a big hub for TWA. A really busy airport, a major hub. And I think it's just a shell of itself now. I don't think there's much going on at all at St. Louis, at least not like what it was back in the day with TWA. So things can change very quickly. Depends on where those hubs are at. All right, so we're stabilized. Everything's cruising along good. I think what we're going to do is do some speed up the time just a bit, and we will catch you guys in a little while. All right, we're back. Just now getting ready to pass over Meridian, Mississippi. There's Keyfield down below us. I did see another airplane down there. I guess he must have landed there. There is a Naval Air Station, Meridian, big training base. Do a lot of training with T-45s there. And we are passing Meridian. We'll hit the fix Duck, and then Orc, and we'll start our standard arrival into Atlanta, into hot Atlanta. And our first crossing clearance will be Nazgul at or above our flight level 240, so we'll be thinking about that shortly. And we'll hop in the airplane and look at our points. You see we're coming up on Orc now. We just passed Duck. Coming up on Orc. We're at 2 times acceleration right now. We're kind of going through it a little bit quick. We'll slow it down in a minute. Like I said, there's NAS Meridian behind us. And I'm not really sure any other landmarks over here in this area. As soon as we get by Mordor, we'll start our descent for Nazgul. That should time it out just about right. All right, we're back. We got a little traffic hanging out with us here. United Airlines 1826 right off the nose there. There he is, and he looks like he is about the same altitude almost exactly. So we'll keep an eye on him. We're not using ATC. My pilot ATC trial ran out, and I love the program. It's definitely a very nice program. Not sure if I'm going to get it right yet, just due to the pricing. Usually try to budget out, X amount of dollars for a period of time, and I just don't have it right now. So maybe one day in the future, we'll just have to kind of wait and see what that looks like. But there's a United 1826 over there about the 10 o'clock position. And also wanted to show y'all, we've got a whopping 105 knot tailwind. We are riding the jet stream big time. I don't know how accurate this is right now. It's not unheard of. I do know that. They can get a really good, boost going eastbound. So that is within the realm of possibility. And we are coming up on Mordor. We're 40 miles out of Nazgul. So you know what? We're going to go ahead and start our descent down to 240. All right, let's set it and pull it. And I don't know if she's going to do it. Maybe. I think she's thinking about it. I hear the engine spooling down. There we go. Okay. Look at a bit. I think that's one thing about the autopilot that makes me really kind of iffy about it is it seems like it takes it a while. UAL decided to kick in the afterburner there. It looks like that must be a network thing or something. He's really moving though. Absolutely. Yeah, I don't know. The autopilot just too many times seems like it has to think on it before it does what it wants to. And let's go ahead and start pulling our speed back a little bit. I don't want to do a whole lot at one time because it will level the plane out. It'll interrupt our descent. It'll level it out to bleed the speed off, and it'll go back into a descent. So we're going to do it very slowly. Just a little bit. You see she's starting to pull up a little bit now because I went too far. And that really interrupted our descent rate. We can get back down. So Nazgul, we have to be no lower than 240, at or above that. So we'll be okay with that. It's not a big deal. We probably won't hit it at 240, but we don't necessarily have to. It's not in our constraints on our MFD here. It's got smog at 12,650, which is kind of odd. I don't see that number in my chart, but I do see the 240 for Nazgul. So you kind of have to take that with a grain of salt. And we'll continue on. Let's see, we're through 30,000. We are 20 miles out of Nazgul. Yeah, we'll hit that fine. That won't be a problem. As soon as we level out at Nazgul, we'll bleed some speed off, and then we'll start our descent for Gandalf at or above 11,000 feet, and we have to be 250 knots on the dot. That's what it says. So that is what we will be looking for next. And let's go see. Let's take a peek at United. I think he just left us in his dust. I think he did. You can see getting a nice sunset. Weather cleared up. So it should be a really nice eastward arrival into Hotlanta. And that, I do believe, is West Point Lake. I think it is. And to tell you how things have changed, like when I used to do this back in FS98 days, there were only 4 arrivals into Atlanta. There's a ton now. You've got arrivals just everywhere, but back then you had LaGrange, what was it, LaGrange 8, the Cinco was the Cinco 6, the Rome arrival, let's see, LaGrange was from the southwest, Cinco was from the southeast, Rome was from the northwest, and I can't remember the one out of the northeast. I did, was it Piedmont? Maybe? Honestly can't remember for sure on that, but that was all you had. That's all you had to worry about. And now you've got tons of arrivals, tons and tons of arrivals. Like RNAV has just literally exploded. It's crazy how much there is. And you know, your departure out of Atlanta was the Atlanta 9. You had We1, We2, No 2, No 1, E1, E2, and so on, so 2. And that was it. And now you've got tons of them. I mean, the landscape has really just changed a great deal over the years. It's really kind of surprising to me how much it's changed. All right, we're at 240. We're going by Nazgul, so we did hit that one. Perfect. Good. And our next one will be Gandalf. I don't see it. Yeah, I don't see Gandalf. I don't see Gandalf. It is 9 miles off of Smog, and Smog is 48 miles from here. So you know what? We'll go ahead and start heading down to 11,000 feet. We'll bleed our speed off to 250 knots. Go ahead and let the plane do that. And we'll head on down to 11,000 feet. We'll get it started and pull it, and then go down the rest of the way here. All right, there we go, 11,000 feet. And you see it's in the box here. We're good with that. Passing through 23,000 feet. We're at 250 knots. We're speeding up a little bit on that, but that's okay. We'll go with that. As long as we hit Gandalf by 250, we'll be all right. And I'm trying to pick it out in this. I don't see Gandalf on the waypoints here. And I'm sure that's something to do with Microsoft. That's going to be my guess. I don't see it. Yeah, it takes you from Smog directly to Andy for the ILS approach for a 9 right. So we'll go with that. We'll cross Smog. Will be about 10 miles off of Smog. And then, yeah, we're actually missing a few points here. That's kind of disappointing. We're missing Gandalf, Howler, Schuler, and Jingle. And at Cubit. Let's see, Gandalf at 11,000, at or above 11,000 feet, 250 knots. Howler at 10,000 feet or above and 250 knots. And then Schuler at 8,000 feet. And then that's it. Your initial approach fix for non-right would be 7,000 feet. So none of those points are in there, unfortunately. I don't know why. Yeah, it goes from smog straight to Andy. I don't know why it left those out. I really don't. But we'll make it work. This won't be a problem. They're basically in a line from smog to, I mean, there's not much difference there with that. So we'll make that work. So we're about 30 miles out of smog. We're passing through 18,000 feet, just about. Looking at it closer, that may actually be West Point Lake right there. This was, oh, I can't think of the name of it now. I think that is really hard to tell. I need a map with the fixes on it, so I can see exactly where. I'll have to look at that later. But a beautiful hazy arrival into Atlanta. This is typical weather in the southeast, these hazy days. And extremely humid, very humid. Not so much this time of year. It starts getting kind of nice, pretty nice and pleasant this time of the year, but all right, we're back with it. This is West Point Lake. I told you wrong back the other lake. I can't think of the name of that one off the top of my head. But this is West Point Lake. That'd be Lake Wedowee, the Tallapoosa River. And of course, this is the Chattahoochee River that runs up into Atlanta. And no traffic. Kind of surprising. I've flown this trip before in sim and had lots and lots of traffic, and today not so much. Like I said, you never know what you're going to get. Never know what you're going to get in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. That'd be the airport at LaGrange, Georgia. You can see the lights flashing off the end of the runway there. And let's see where we're at in relation to smog. We're just getting ready to pass smog, and I really think smog is pretty much like the VOR at LaGrange. I think it's just the RNAV version of it. All right, so we're going by Gandalf, or we're coming up on Gandalf. 11,250 feet is 10 miles off of so Gandalf would be right about there. Then we got Holler at 10,250 knots. So we're gonna go ahead and take that. We'll go down to 10,000. I really don't know why these points are missing in this. This was done in sim brief, but the of course the flight plan was goofed up for some reason in the sim. Had the path was like way off in left field somewhere, so I went in and picked it manually, and for some reason it doesn't have them. I've picked it before and they have been here, so I don't know what I honestly don't know what the difference is. I really don't. Let's go ahead and pull that, get down to 10,000 feet. We'll at least pretend like we're flying over these points. Beautiful evening arrival though, really nice weather. Very nice. You got some kind of weather off to the north. All right, we're at 10,000 feet, so we're going to go ahead and hit our lights. And I think we're good with all this. We'll go ahead and hit seat belts. Should have done that when we start our descent, but that's all right. And we'll go ahead and descend down to 8,000 feet for our pretend Schuler. Our pretend Schuler fix is not in there for whatever reason. Guess we could go direct to it, but let's see. Let's try that. Let's see. Let's see. S-H-U-L-R. I hope we don't regret this, but we'll see. Maybe. Let's see what it does. Yeah, I don't even see it. I don't know. It's turning its off course, but I have no clue where that's taking us, so we're going to stop that. We're going to take our heading back. Knew I would regret that. I knew it. Absolutely knew I would regret it, but that's all right. We'll just do it. We'll do it manually. Little hand flying. I think usually what they give you vectors anyway from this point, you know, or close to it. All right, so we're at 250 knots. We're going to go ahead and slow up to 230. I don't see anything else in the standard arrival about speeds. The only speed I ever saw posted in this whole chart is 250 knots. And we need to set our altimeter. We'll do that. 3017. Let's go ahead and change our course. About 27 degrees should be right. Let's see, can we go direct? No, we can't go direct anything. Okay. This is fine. We'll make it work. Alright, so we are now about 20 miles out of Andy for our arrival, our ILS approach into 9 right. We wanted the south runways. They got 9 left, 9 right, and 10 on the southern part of the airport. And generally, from what I understood, at least back in the day, what they try to do is arrivals from the south use the south runways, and from the north use the north runways to try to keep them from crossing in front of each other on their approaches. And 9 left would be the departure runway, right would be the arrival, and they didn't have a 10 back then. Of course, they've got 10 now, and that is also an arrival runway. And then on the north end of the field, they've got 8 right, which would be the departure runway right now, and 8 left, which would be the arrival. Or like I said, the traffic coming out of the northwest and the northeast. And we'll make sure that everything is programmed in okay. Let's switch over to our ILS mode, and we'll hit that. That'll turn that on. This is turn on our ILS info display, and this setting right here would put our select our rows to our ILS mode. So that'll give us the information that we need, and we'll zoom in a little bit closer on it. And we'll probably go down to 7,000. I think that would be a good time to go. Let's pull the speed back to 210 knots. We'll do that. And we'll get our first notch of flaps here in just a second, just a little below 220. really, really super cool seeing a reflection of your instruments on the bottom side of the console here. It's really neat. All right, let's go on back to 200 knots. And we'll get our first notch flaps. There we go. A little bit better perspective when we start getting those flaps, and there you can see beautiful Atlanta in the distance there, not quite lit up yet. And no traffic. That's unfortunate. I hate that. Love coming into a busy airport with a lot of traffic, but you never know what it's going to be doing. Go ahead and pull it back to 190. Get some more flaps now. You can see our little hash marks or whatever you want to call them. I think I've heard them called eyebrows before, but anyway, the little indicator here tells you need to get below your flap speed. We'll grab that, and plus we have this over here that tells us we can do full at 177 or lower. And we're going to go ahead and turn our localizer mode on. And she's going ahead and turning us now. I don't know why. You know what? We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. No, I don't want to do that yet. We'll wait till we start seeing the localizer actually move. I don't know why she went ahead and started turning us towards the field. Let's zoom it on in to 10. We're just now coming up on Andy, so we'll be making that turn anyway, but that's kind of odd. And then we'll have defense at 6,000 feet. Let's see, we're doing 9 right, ILS 9 right. I'll pull that up real quick. Let's see, Andy at 7K, defense at 6, Guy at 5, Easy at 4, and Bernie at 2,700. And we'll go ahead and descend down to 6,000 feet since we're kind of doglegging Andy just a little bit there. We'll hit that. And we'll turn. Alright, localizer is coming alive. Alright, we're going to pull our speed back to 170. 272 the outer marker. Let's go ahead and hit localizer. And we are below the glide slope, and there is a beautiful Atlanta airport all lit up in all its glory. Alright, let's go ahead and get full flaps. And we overshot the localizer just a tad, but we'll get back on it. We'll let the plane do its thing there. And let's go ahead and hit approach mode as well. Let's do that. Now it's showing our wind coming out at 336. I'm hoping this is just an upper, a higher altitude wind layer. Because I looked at it, I just looked at FlightAware before we started this flight, and they were landing to the east. So this could be a discrepancy in the simulator, more likely. That's just one thing I really wish we could just count on the weather. Like, if you see what it's doing in real life, then you know it's going to be doing that in sim, and it's not to that point yet at all. All right, there we go. We've captured the glide slope. You can see it's Cat 1 single, no decision height. Not sure what single means. We didn't put a decision height in. You see we got our localizer is picked up. That is the correct one. It's iFun 108.9 and it's 15 nautical miles out. At about 10 we'll drop the gear and we'll be set from there. And so far have a nice stable approach into the airport. Everything's looking really super nice. And we'll go ahead and we'll do manage speed mode. Let her do that. And it looks like we got some traffic out here. There we go. Everything's still looking really good. Very nice arrival into Atlanta. Like that a lot. Oh, we got one right behind us. Look at that. All right, let's hop back in the plane, drop our gear, arm our spoilers. See, ground spoilers are armed, seat belts, no smoking. And let's see what else we need here. I think we're good on everything. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Ah, yes. Let's do auto brake on medium. 2,500. 2,500, still looking good. We'll stay with it till about 1,000 feet, and then we'll cut the autopilot off and take it in by hand the rest of the way. We've got it in managed speed mode. You see the dashes there. So basically the plane is taking care of the speed for you, depending on your flap setting and your gear and all that. So it knows that we're configured for landing, and so it's got us holding a landing speed, which I think is really, really super cool. And this guy here, I'm assuming he is going for 8 right. It looks like 8 right. I'm not sure where the American went. He's back there. Oh yeah, there he is. He must be coming in for 10. So that's cool. And then we got another Delta behind us. They just popped up. Everyone just showed up at the same time. Like all at once. Oh, GTI. That's Atlas Air. I wonder if that's a 7.4. That's really cool. That is a scheme I would love to see on a 747 is Atlas Air and Polar Air Cargo. You guys, if you guys know how to do that, or know anyone that does, that would be my pick for the 747 Atlas Air. Absolutely love that scheme. All right, everything's still looking good. You see our wind is out of the east now, so it did change. 087 at 5 knots, so not horrible. Should be coming through 1,000 feet just shortly, and we'll knock the autopilot off and take it from there. In fact, you know what? We'll just go ahead and do that now. We'll go ahead and take it now. Plane is configured nicely. It should just about fly itself the rest of the way down. 500 feet. 400. Not sure what's up with that. The repeated call-outs there. Not interesting. Everything's looking good. 300 feet. Still looking good. We'll pull the speed off about 100 feet off the ground, somewhere in there. There's a middle marker. 100 feet. We'll go ahead and start pulling the speed back.
50, 40, 30, 20.
There we go. We'll close it all the way back.
5.
There we go. Sweet. Very nice. Very nice. Give it some reversers. Slow it up. 80 knots. 60 knots. We'll come out of reversers. We'll come out of the brakes. We'll hop to us an exterior view. Get our flaps up. And we'll take this high-speed taxi to the left and head for the terminal. Then it looks like we got a Delta coming in on 9 left. We'll take a peek, see what he's doing. Look at that, beautiful. Airport's not very accurate, unfortunately, but it's close enough to know it's Atlanta. There's Delta 976 coming in to land. I think he's out of DTW is Detroit, right? And now we're on the ground. Let's hop in the plane. And let's hit those landing lights off. And go to taxi light. There we go. Much better. Don't be blinding our fellow pilots on the ground here. I think they like to cut the strobes off as well. So it won't mess with their night vision. Alright, hop back out of the airplane. We'll, I don't have a particular gate to go to. We'll just kind of, we'll kind of wing it here. Alright, he just landed, so we should hypothetically be clear. Okay, we'll go ahead and cross over. And that looks like that was it for arrivals. Like the rush is over with. That was it. It was here and now it's gone. Alright, here we are, Hotlanta. Great airport to fly into. Always enjoy it. And as usual, guys, thank you for all the likes, the subscribes, the comments, everything. It is greatly appreciated. It still really just absolutely blows my mind. And be sure to stay tuned. We will be doing that flight to Tijuana, and we'll be making a flight to O'Hare. And we'll be checking out a lot of other stuff. Hopefully the sim will stay fixed for a bit and not broke. I'm really hoping. We'll see. anyway, that's going to do it for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. And we will catch you in the air next time. Peace.